Hey everyone, let's jump right into this 2026 explainer on demystifying the Chinese watch supply chain. If you're navigating the global horology market right now and trying to expert vet the perfect manufacturing partner, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the top players, their specific capabilities, and exactly how to source them safely.
Just to wrap our heads around the sheer scale we're dealing with right off the bat, consider this. Over 80% of the entire world's watch production originates from just the Pearl River Delta. That's enough to boggle the mind, right? We're talking about everything from budget-friendly quartz pieces all the way up to high-end mechanical complications. That concentration of expertise is just staggering.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to map out the watch manufacturing hubs, meet the top manufacturers, figure out how to evaluate quality and specs, help you find your perfect match, and then rapid fire through some essential sourcing FAQs.
All right, part 1, the watch manufacturing hubs.
Before we even look at specific factories, we absolutely have to get our bearings geographically. And honestly, it's basically a tale of two cities. If you need precision manufacturing, 316L stainless steel, sapphire crystals, high-end Japanese or Swiss movements, you go straight to Shenzhen. That is your precision hub. But if your business model demands high volume, lower minimum order quantities, and rapid turnaround fast fashion pieces using alloy cases, then Guangzhou is your undeniable go-to.
Moving right along to part 2, meet the top manufacturers. First up on the 2026 radar is FIITI. Now, they aren't just a manufacturer, they're really a symbol of Chinese horological advancement. This is a Tier 1 powerhouse. They offer world-class R&D and a vertically integrated supply chain that's literally capable of producing professional-grade chronographs for actual astronauts. No joke. So if you're a brand owner seeking premium, space-proven engineering, this is your flagship. Though, for sure, expect significantly higher entry barriers and costs.
Next on the list, we have Seagull, the undisputed mechanical master. If your brand strategy revolves around mechanical open-heart designs, or even complicated calibers like tourbillons, Seagull is essential. Why? Because they produce roughly 1/4 of the entire world's total mechanical movements. To put that into perspective, they are the primary global source for reliable, non-Swiss calibers.
Now, if you're an e-commerce seller looking to scale up, say on Amazon or Shopify, Magir is a name you definitely need to know. They're premium private label specialists. They offer a highly digitized workflow, complete with 3D rendering and rapid prototyping, so you can seamlessly visualize your collection before you ever commit to bulk production. They specifically focus on quality 316L steel construction and PVD plating.
Over in Zhuhai, we've got Rossini. Operating as a subsidiary of CityChamp Watch and Jewelry, these guys run one of the most advanced manufacturing facilities out there. Rossini is known for incredibly strict quality control and massive production capacity. That makes them the absolute ideal match for B2B bulk buyers and corporate gift distributors who really need classic timepieces with a high perceived value.
Then there's Sedex. They absolutely dominate the Guangzhou cluster. They are, without a doubt, the volume king. If you're a budget-conscious retailer, or maybe you're sourcing for emerging markets, Sedex offers in-stock models with minimum order quantities as incredibly low as 100 to 300 pieces. They perfectly balance functional reliability with super aggressive pricing for digital and sports watches.
Tapping right into that 2026 push toward green procurement, we've got SHX. If your brand is laser-focused on sustainability, this is your stop. We're talking recycled steel, vegan leathers, and recycled ocean plastics. Plus, they're doing an amazing job bridging the gap between traditional horology and smart technology, making them the go-to for eco-friendly hybrid wearables.
Finally, rounding out our top 7 is Forcening, which you'll often see marketed under the Winner brand. These guys are absolute masters of visual complexity. Ideal for trend-driven TikTok shop vendors, Forcening makes skeletonized mechanical watches that look significantly more expensive than their sub-$50 manufacturing cost. It's all about high aesthetics, maximum shelf appeal, and a really great margin.
Feel free to grab a quick screenshot of this master matrix. It perfectly summarizes everything we just covered. It lays out the core materials, movement types, typical minimum order quantities, and sourcing tiers of the Big 7. Keeping this handy is going to save you countless hours during your initial factory shortlisting.
Okay, part 3, evaluating quality and specs.
So when you're vetting your shortlisted factories, you've really got to stick to these 4 non-negotiable steps. Step 1, demand movement transparency.
Don't just accept a vague Japanese movement. Make sure the pro forma invoice explicitly specifies if it's a high-quality Miyota 9015 or a budget PC21. Step 2. Verify water resistance realities. Standard fashion watches are a splash-proof 3 ATM, but if you're selling a diver, you have to insist on a 100% atmospheric pressure test for 10 ATM or higher. Step 3 is surface finishing, and Step 4 is ensuring compliance. That means collecting your RoHS for materials, CE for electronics, and ethical sourcing audits like BSCI or Sedex.
Let's zoom in on Step 3 for a second, because this is actually a massive pitfall for a lot of new brands. Actually, scratch that, it's more like a completely avoidable disaster. For gold or black watches, you have to contrast IP against PVD. Ion plating is standard for budget pieces, but it might visibly wear off in just 12 months, which is a fantastic way to get angry customer emails. PVD, or physical vapor deposition, is the industry standard for quality brands because it actually survives years of daily wear. Know exactly what you're paying for here.
Which brings us to part 4. Find your perfect match. Now that you know who the major players are, let's map your buyer profile directly to the right factory. If you're a startup or a small buyer, Skim-Eye or Forcening are your perfect match for low MOQs and ready-to-ship designs. If you're a brand owner building a private label, Megear or SHX offer the absolute best balance of customization and quality. Meanwhile, bulk wholesalers really need the scale and stability of Rossini or FHITA. And if your entire brand identity rests on mechanical movement integrity, Seagull is your undisputed choice.
Finally, Part 5, Essential Sourcing FAQs. One of the biggest questions we get from premium brands is whether they can bypass Switzerland entirely for their ETA or Sellita movements, and what kind of lead times they should expect if they do.
Well, the insider reality here is yes, absolutely. Many of those top-tier Shenzhen factories like FITA or Megear actually have established accounts with ETA and Sellita. But keep in mind, your order will still legally have to be labeled, assembled in China, or cased in China. As for lead times, expect about 45 to 60 days for a custom OEM order, or a much faster 25 to 30 days if you're just doing an ODM order, which basically means just changing a logo on an existing design.
Here's another major hurdle. If you're handing over custom technical drawings, or especially if you're dropping over 20 grand, you're probably terrified about your proprietary designs being stolen or receiving a terrible batch of inventory.
So how do you actually protect yourself? You always execute an NNN agreement. That stands for non-disclosure, non-use, and non-circumvention. Crucially, this must be drafted specifically under Chinese law before you share a single drawing. And for those Tier 1 and Tier 2 orders over 20 grand, do not skip out on heavily utilizing a third-party inspection service like CUMA to audit the factory's production capacity and quality control standards on your behalf. Seriously, it's worth every penny.
So, with the geographic hubs demystified, the top manufacturers mapped, and your vetting playbook firmly in hand, you are officially equipped to navigate this whole ecosystem like a total pro. The only question left is, what kind of legacy are you going to build this year? Because in 2026, the barrier to entry isn't access to manufacturing anymore, it's execution. Will you settle for a high-volume fashion brand or push the limits to build a precision-engineered microbrand? Take these insights, vet relentlessly, and get out there and start building.